Oh, there we go.
Hey,
What's up, guys?
how's it going,
Not
Doc?
much.
So
Happy.
good. Wow. Had I known it was muscle day, I should have worn my muscle shirt.
Our shtick is jerseys for some reason. We're trying to be cool dentists, not just regular dentists.
Who you got? Which
This
which Pelicans jersey you got? You got
it's
Zion?
a knockoff Zion jersey, but it was severely on sale.
Knockoff on severe sale.
Yes.
Perfect.
There you go. That'll work good.
Almost free.
Yeah, that's how I get all my jerseys too. Find them.
Number
find 'em
two.
off
I'm trying to think
season.
of who's number 2 in this orange color that I see.
It's the Broncos, and he's the best player on the team.
Who is it?
Plays defense. Pat Surtain,
Okay.
the cornerback.
If my kid were in here, he'd be like, "Dad, come on, it's Pat Surtain."
Are you a big sports fan at all, or a particular sport?
So you guys, I named my son after my favorite athlete, Steve Nash. So my second son's name is
Okay.
Nash.
Okay.
I was diehard Suns fan for a long time. Moving to Washington from Arizona, I just haven't been, bought into anything there. But I did take my son to the Seahawks and Rams game on Thursday Night Football 2 weeks ago.
Boy,
if you
that
guys
was a
saw
good
that
one.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
epic.
That
Did you guys
and that's
watch
a fun
it?
stadium. I watched
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did not record the last play. I recorded my son on the last play, and it's just gold. I was just like,
Yeah.
all right, if we get this 2-point conversion, I want this, and the reaction was just priceless. It was amazing. Yeah.
How old is he?
12.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
he
I
your
can
only
totally
son?
understand.
I got 5 kids. He's my third boy.
Third boy. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're from Arizona?
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
Where
What
Born
at?
and
brought you
raised
to
in Arizona.
Washington?
I'm in Tri-Cities, Washington. It's on the Idaho side.
What brought you there from? I'm on your LinkedIn. I got tons of questions, but so Creighton and then Washington.
Yeah, I married a Washington girl, so we came to her state, not her area, but this was just kind of our compromise. I didn't want to live in Hippieville, Seattle, so we came onto the onto the east side.
Nice.
And yeah, I just haven't found a reason to leave. So
Yeah, it's a beautiful
it's
area.
whatever. Where do you guys practice?
I'm in Scottsdale.
Oh, right
I was gonna say where in Arizona were you from?
Mesa.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the practice is in Tempe, and then I live in Scottsdale.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
I'm in the Tampa Bay area. I'm a Floridian through and through, and every time I've left, I've regretted it. I don't know. It was 50 degrees on New Year's, and that. No thanks. I don't know how you guys do
what
it.
What city in the Tampa area?
In St. Pete.
Okay. Right on. As a door-to-door salesman out there in 2012. So we'd go over. Was there a Lakeland over there?
Yes, there is.
Yeah. There were some cities around there that we would go from Orlando to go sell some alarms. So yeah, you'll see on my LinkedIn probably. I'm not good at LinkedIn. But that I was a door-to-door salesman for a long time, and I attribute a lot of my success to just kind of putting myself out there on the doors and just embarrassing stuff, man. Every single day, failure, crying, loneliness, just, knocking on a door and being like, oh my gosh, here we go again. And then they answer the door and you're like, I know you hate me, but hear me out.
Give me 2 minutes of your time. Dude, that's a lot like dentistry. Yeah, I want to hear more about that, because you mentioned you think a lot of your success came from that. You said embarrassing, definitely had a lot of embarrassing moments as a provider, and then lonely. I think every dentist can relate to the lonely aspect of it. So
yeah. I started in 2006 when I was in college. The economy was okay. And then 2007, 2008, the economy was not good. And so I was just like, oh shoot, what do I do? 2009, I go and I just don't make that much money, and I got my teeth worked on. And it's when he took a picture with an intraoral camera. And he's just like, see this cavity, see this brown spot? I got you. I'll take care of you. I was like, whoa, he like convinced me without like having to convince me. He just showed me a picture and I'm like, yeah, I guess you got to take care of it. So that was the moment I decided to go back to school. 2 years after I graduated from college, I was just like, I got to be a
What
dentist.
was your original plan then? Because I see exercise science.
Yeah. So I was going to be a veterinarian. And then I met my beautiful bride and she's just like, let's not. And so I just thought because of my success in door to door, I thought I'd get into business and into management.
What in your door to door, do you remember a moment where, from what I've heard from door to door salesmen, they have a breaking point? The ones that didn't do any sales training beforehand, where they go door to door and it's just rejection, rejection. Maybe they get lucky. Did you have a breaking point or a time when you're like, I need to study something or learn a different and better way of doing this?
Uh, yeah. So I made 36 grand my first summer. I felt super pumped. I mean, as a college kid, I made 9K a month. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Then I made 70 grand my next summer. I was on top of the world. I could have sworn there was nobody making more money than me. I made 110 grand the next summer. You're seeing the pattern here?
Yeah.
And then it was 2009 that I made 40. So I went, oh, and then bam. I was just like, oh, shnikes. I've got a wife. I've got a son now. This is not going to cut it. Like this could have funded my college kid lifestyle, but not a family. So that failure mixed in with that visit to the dentist, it was in Chicago that I was selling that year. That's when I was just like, all right, I need to take 4 more classes that are prereqs that I didn't finish in my exercise science major. Let's go. And it took me a couple years to get into dental school. My dad sucked. I had a terrible score. Bought some textbooks to study OChem and biology, and I just like took some practice tests, and I got into several schools after that. So it was a very non-conventional way of getting in, but I really think too many people just start dentistry not really having world experience, and that outside experience really was crucial. I mean, so you see a lot of people who are what's a common age to graduate dental school? I was 33 or so. Like what's a common age? What's it like
26 was my
26 if
class.
you go straight
Yeah.
through.
26. That's a baby. And then
That's a child.
and then how old are you guys?
34.
29.
Okay. And so you got these 28-year-olds who are like, okay, I want to make 500,000. I want to make 1 million. I want to make 2 million. Just like, all right, who's to say that you're going to earn this? Where are you going to get all of this from in order to really just like make it happen? That's ambitious, but do you have what it takes to get there rather than just being like, okay, I've got a degree, putting my hands out. I'm ready to do the dentistry and make $1 million. Like, it's just not going to happen. So we've got to just be more well-rounded. We've got to be able to just humble ourselves and say, okay, there's more than just a prep skill that I need in order to make this happen.
Tony and I have said this, I mean, with everyone we've talked to, I feel like it's common knowledge. Not that it's the least important skill, but much less important than you think. Um, what what part of door to door sales was it more the rejection, or what do you feel like started building your skills specifically in communication? Because what I've seen from your content, I feel like a lot of sales things I see, these people are like clowns almost. They're yelling, they're expressive and all this. The way you talk, it seems very measured, ethical, genuine, honest. You're not like one of these figures where it's like, oh, you got to talk like this. The way you explain things, it's very straightforward. There's no fluff and you're extremely effective versus when I think door to door salesman, you got the right questions to ask, they talk about tonality. So I don't know if it's a different ball game to you,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Great question. I mean, I thought of many factors as you were talking about that. I thought like people's attention spans are short, so you've got to be brief and effective. They're not experts, and and people talk like we are talking to experts, and so stop it. So just the thing that I posted this morning of like, you see this crack? Once you're missing 50% of tooth structure, becomes brittle, fragile, compromised, and it needs a crown. Like that right there does not need anybody with dental knowledge to be like, it's just so simple. So you have to be, you have to have empathy and just come at it with a source of like, hey, they don't want to spend money on this. I get it. They would rather have this money be in their restaurant and vacation fund, but instead they're having to put into their health fund. Yeah, that sucks. And so you have to come at it with that sort of empathy, like, you do have a problem, and I'm sorry to tell you that. But the good news is I can prevent it from getting worse. I can fix it. I can give you something great. Okay, so that right there is sales. It's because I'm showing empathy of their situation. I'm acknowledging that, like, yeah, it's going to suck for you to spend money. I'm trying to be super efficient. And rather than me just coming up as an expert and saying, all right, you've got this MOD and you need a full crown and a buildup. It's made out of zirconia, and I'm going to do that. And she's going to come in here and explain that to you. There's no empathy. There's no like coming down to the same level. There's no likability, right? I'm not a likable person, but I can be likable enough for the person to trust me. Okay. I'm not saying that I'm going to be their best friend. I'm not figuring out everything about their kids and like their job and everything like that. I'm not wasting time. But it's like I have this threshold that I have to meet of, okay, am I relatable? Am I likable? Am I like empathetic enough to where they understand like, hey, this guy gets me. Cool. Let's move forward. Okay. So I think door-to-door sales taught me just that efficiency of people have lives, and this right here that we're talking about. Okay, get this. I saw somebody. I really can't stand dental Instagram. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me absolutely bonkers how everybody feels like they have to have this Instagram stuff. And I hate being on Instagram myself because I don't like it. Anyway, I saw somebody post something where it says, and this guy looked like he was like 30, dental business owner, and his ad on his post said, um, get a dental implant. It will be the best thing you can buy. And I was just like, that is such a stupid thing to say, because people could buy so many things in this world, and because you're making the most money out of it, you're making the most money out of an implant over anything else that you do. That's why you're like, oh, it's going to be the best thing. Okay. For you, the seller, it's going to be the best
The
thing for them
value
to
is
buy.
not for them. Yeah.
Right. That person can go without number 19 just fine. Right? No problem. So, I don't know why I said that, where I was going with that, but I think that's
That's
just
an
like the lack of
interesting
empathy,
idea,
right?
because and this is such a great question, and please take it wherever, but you see a missing 19. I feel like part of the dentist, so I just took the first part of the Pankey curriculum, whatever you think of all those, continuums, but they're very big on knowing your patient, right? So someone's in your door, missing tooth. Maybe they've said, hey, yeah, some stuff gets stuck. It's a little more uncomfortable to eat, which to a dentist is like, okay, they've expressed some concern about a missing tooth, but you just said, hey, someone can go without number 19 for a while. So when you're talking to a patient and they don't have this express sort of, I want an implant, I want a bridge, what are you talking about? What are you trying to figure out, whether you think it's an actually good idea to do an implant there and, make it the best purchase of their life versus not?
Yeah, so let's talk clinically a little bit. My favorite thing to talk about in that regard is that number 18 is all alone. It's on its own, and it's not made for this capacity. And your left side chewing is only as good as it's going to be able to tolerate for a while. So it's just like, yeah, I get it. You don't really care. You don't really like have this burning desire to fill in this gap. But what I'm concerned about, okay, so bring my concern in for you. What I'm concerned about is what happens when this little Lone Ranger back here breaks. because it's now got double the work. Every time you're chewing, not even if you're just chewing on the left side, but even if you're like clenching or you're talking or you're chewing on your right side, it's still coming together. And what happens when that breaks? That's going to suck. And you're going to have all sorts of problems because of like how different things are going to be from right to left. So that's why I would say it's time to do something on this number 19 spot now.
Got it. Well, a couple minutes ago, you said something, I can't remember your whole phrase, but you said, I can help you prevent it from getting worse. And I think that triggers people for that. I forget what the psychological principle is, but they have a greater fear of losing something than gaining something back. So if you're
the desire
like
for
Alex brought up,
the fear of loss is greater than the desire for
fear of
gain.
gain.
Yeah. So if you're trying to bring up the advantage of filling it in, they might not care. But if you're like, well, you're going to lose a second tooth because of this, that might
is
be
fear
something.
of loss.
Yeah,
That is the
exactly.
concept. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Have
So
you
I
read
really like
Thinking
that.
Fast and Slow or anything similar on that topic? Or anything in terms of psychology, in terms of certain, like all these things that the way you're saying it, there are those famous books like Influence, Cialdini, and all these things where there are these psychological principles that, you know, you can kind of anchor and all that when you talk to patients. So in terms of actually learning what to say or how to say it, do you have any recommendations?
I mean, you have to learn the basics of those psychology things that what you're just saying. I mean, how to win friends and influence people. I don't know it. Like, even if I read it, I probably wouldn't learn that much just because my attention span isn't that great. Cialdini has books and books, but there's like 6 principles. I'm good with just the principles, right? Um, so it's just figuring out whatever you can learn at your capacity. I don't know. I think I have ADHD. So just recently, somebody's like, I think you got it. And then I spent some time with a clinical psychologist this summer. She's like, ha, uh, yeah, I'm not diagnosing you, but, and so like, I get it. I'm not going to be putting myself into like learning these things like crazy because I just don't want to put the brain power into it. But, yeah, basic psychology. I mean, what did you guys think when you decided to become a dentist? You thought that you were just going to be like doing work on people with your hands. Little did you know how much all of this has to be transpired by your skill of speaking, by your skill of, being relatable, being convincing. And sales is so good in our profession because every single thing that people need to purchase in their life has to come from a sale. And so this is no different. And so I do not feel bad saying that I sell dentistry every day.
I
I
say
don't.
it all the time. I say our product is dental health. And I hate how in medicine and in dentistry, we think sales is such a dirty word. My parents are immigrants and they go, oh, they're trying to sell you something. Like, yeah, I hope they are because they probably think it'll make my life better.
Well, when you're walking in the mall and they're at the kiosk and they're like, hey, hey, oh, those are great shoes. You're like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're wanting to sell me something, and it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. So that's why people are like, oh, they're trying to sell you something. Because yeah, in a day of so many scams, in a day of just, I mean, I have really close family members who got terribly scammed. Um, we want to be careful of who we give our business to, and so I don't want to sell things to people. I want them to buy from me. I'll say that again. I don't want to sell to them. I want them to buy from me. So it really is a different feeling of feeling sold or purchasing something. I hate the feeling of feeling sold. When I walk away from something, I'm just like, I got sold. That's a terrible feeling. So I definitely avoid that. How do I avoid that? I'll give you one example. I don't know how much you want me to keep talking before we're actually recording, but like when you do a cavity or a crown and then your assistant's about to take the impression or do the scan or whatever, is you tap them on the shoulder and you're like, hey, that was a good size fracture. Wow, what a doozy. You did a really good thing for yourself. Okay, now there's no buyer's remorse. Now they're like, okay, justified. I feel justified in making this decision to trust this doctor. It takes away that feeling of potential buyer's remorse. That way they're not going to feel like, "Ah, he sold me."
Yeah. We've been recording this whole time, by the
I
way.
was going to say,
So
just so you know,
no
yeah, it's
worries.
been recording.
So
I wanted to
is
hit,
this the podcast? Are we like
Yeah.
doing the podcast?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
My bad.
No,
No, you're doing good.
my favorite podcasts are ones where honestly the host just listens. And, I looked at your background and I have a bunch of things I'd love to cover, but it's more of letting the world know. And I know the world knows who you are, but, they know you as the guy who can talk to patients effectively. But I feel like there's so much more to you, your background and all that, that if it was just about childhood stories and how that influenced who you are today, I think that'd be helpful to some people. Um, in terms of who you are on the internet, I feel like when I see your content, it's all you. You are selling, talking to the patients. But I learned the hard way in an office that I just left that it is from the time the patient walks in the door, how they're greeted, their comfort level, because when the dentist walks in, I feel like the guard is up. The dentist wants to sell you something. The dentist wants to take your money. Of course, we care for them, but we can't do it alone. And so on your website, you have a specific sprint, it's highleveldentists.com, about your office manager, right? Or practice manager specifically. So can you talk about your team dynamic that people might not see as much from your social media?
So I strongly believe that the patient experience is not tied only to the doctor. The doctor is just a percent of it. So everything, every person who represents the practice is replicating, like they are identified by, let me say this again. Everybody is a representative of the doctor, and the doctor is just part of the experience. So when I said, hey, to my treatment coordinator, office manager, you need to teach people how you do what you do, because the magic doesn't come from me. The magic comes from everything around me as well. And there is a lot of fine tuning with that. Therefore, her magic needs to be spread to coincide with my magic, because it builds upon each other. And so that's why when people purchase that sprint, which is super cost effective for them to just be like, hey, I want to buy this and let my front office staff watch it, it gives them the verbiage and them the mindset of where they're going as supporters of the doctor. So therefore, I think that when people talk to me, it is consistent with the experience that they've had up to this point on the phone call, greeting, bringing back x-ray, cleaning, and now me. It's just a nice little sequence that I just fit into rather than I'm the pinnacle of.
I got a
Have you
question kind of
always
along
had,
that. I was, you want me to go real quick, Alex? So, I know you do the mentorship and the personalized mentorship, and I'm assuming a decent chunk of those, or is it always owners, or do you have some associates?
Um, I don't cater to either or neither. So anybody
Okay.
who's a doctor who wants to make more money,
Yeah.
like I'm considering putting out a post to being like, hey, this Instagram account is for doctors. If you're not a doctor, you're not gonna like me. Like,
Yeah.
because I talk to doctors how to make more money, how to
hmm
do more production, how to spread more of their skills to more people who need it. It's a win-win for everybody, but I have no desire to cater towards assistants or hygienists or front office staff or dental therapists or anybody like that. Like, I am only geared towards dentists, and that includes owners, that includes associates. I deal with associates who make over 60 grand a month. I deal with owners who make around 3,000 a month. Obviously, both of them, you know, totally different situations, but wouldn't you rather be the associate in that situation rather than an owner
Yeah.
making 40 grand a year?
Yeah.
So I teach doctors how to figure out how to put more stuff onto their schedule or the doctors around them. So sometimes a doctor owns a practice and has 6 associates and says,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like your services. Great. I'm here to help you and I'm here to help your associates. But there's nobody, guys, there's nobody out there like me who is saying, I only specialize in one thing, and that is production. What do
Yeah.
most coaches do? They just say, "Hey, I can help you with marketing, with business, with production, and I'm just like, dude, you just want the nitty-gritty of production. This is what I've found out that I'm really great at. When people ask me like, "Hey, can I hire you for business development or for marketing?" I tell them no. Like, even though it's working well in my office, that doesn't mean that I'm a specialist in that regard. Doesn't mean that I
Mm-hmm.
know the different things that I can um the different routes that they can take. I just know what I know.
Mm-hmm.
My experience is my experience, and that's how most dentists are. How do you extract a tooth? Okay, well, how does the neighbor down the road extract a tooth? We could learn a lot from each other, but we don't because we're in our own little world,
Yep.
right? And so my niche is solely production, and it's to any dentist to finish answering your question. And who is able to learn from me? You have to have two components. You have to be hungry, meaning you want it. You have to be humble, meaning you know that you don't know everything.
Do you see doctors that aren't like, so do
Oh,
you say no to do you say no to clients?
yeah. Like if they say, "Can you help me?" I'm just like, "You kind of seem like a tool. You're not going to listen to me. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
implement anything." Or, "Can you help my associate? He's coming in every day and he's just wanting the daily minimum." And I say, "Nope, I cannot help that person because he's not hungry."
Mm-hmm.
And so if anybody is solely focused, and you guys, I looked into you guys a little bit. You know contracts really well for associateships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of that deals with a daily minimum. I
Mm-hmm.
hate daily minimums because it sends the wrong message. If we are focused on a daily minimum, that means that the doctor is not, or the owner is not giving enough work to the associate.
Yep.
Or if the associate is focusing too much on the daily minimum, that might mean that they are not wanting to put in a whole lot more work. They just want to make this baseline. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I know that they have their place and I'm totally okay with that. But in my system, in my organism of my practices, if anybody comes to me and says, like, what's the daily minimum? I say, we don't have one because that's not the way that we talk. It's not the way that we think. The typical minimum is, let's say, X. I want to make sure that you're making at least 4X when you're in my practice. And so we don't even think about that. I'm going to teach you how to absolutely crush it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to your question. Are there people I turn away? Yes, because either they're not hungry or they're not humble.
I think daily minimums don't apply to you,
They don't.
um, because I just came from a DSO with no systems, and I kind of want to get into your systems growth. And even though you said you only
I
deal
was,
with production,
yeah, this is what I wanted to hit
um,
on too.
you own 2 practices, so you have built enough systems, I would hope, for from the patient walking in to walking out. But you as an owner, whether it's a DSO or not, you have the incentive to get as much production for everyone as possible. In DSOs, where I just came from an office where I've had 3 office managers in 8 months, I came in with no systems, no manuals, no patient retention, where I looked through my schedule, and from when I started in March, there were over 100 patients with significant treatment plans, not just like a filling or a crown here and there, that weren't followed up on. And even though I tried to act like an owner, not just an owner like you, it didn't happen. And so I think I agree with you where minimums are silly for motivated, hungry owners. But unfortunately, they have their place. But
They do.
but that's such an interesting mindset where if you go into an opportunity with the hope of maximizing a floor, all you're thinking about is the floor. And if you're happy with that number, that is a dangerous place to be. But in terms of your systems, first of all, define production for us. So to me, that is just the dentist doing work, right?
Yeah. So, Alex, your point of your DSO experience, absolutely, you should have protection, and that is a daily minimum. Totally get it. Absolutely. I know all associates can't find an opportunity like what I provide my associates. I just had a meeting with my associate today, and I said, "Hey, where are we looking for this next year? Are you wanting to stay, or you wanting to look elsewhere?" And he made just under $500,000 in 2025. And so he's just like, "I don't see why I would want to go anywhere." I said, "Perfect. I want you to make owner money without having the owner hassle." Perfect. All right. So let's answer your question of what do I consider production? Production is net production, which is a billable service that you provide. So billable services. And so you better have the systems in place to where those services will be collected on. So we do not do in-house financing because those are too hard to keep up with. We don't do, so in other words, payment plans with patients. Those just are not a good idea unless you really have something nailed down with your staff tracking those things. In most cases, terrible idea. That means services that are actually uh, ethically billable to insurance, meaning if I am doing a um, full arch of extractions and I bill out 2 quads of alveoloplasty without doing the alveoloplasty, and I mark that as production, that is not actual production. That is fraudulent. That is not right. They probably won't pay on it. There goes my light. And so, therefore, just because you put it onto your schedule as this is what my production was, if it's not properly done, then that is not production. If you bill out a buildup and a crown, but you only do a crown and you have zero reference of the buildup that you did so that the insurance can see before and after pictures, that's not a billable service, so you're not getting paid on production. Anything that is billable in a proper manner. I mean, get this, for example. When I was a new associate, I was getting paid on production. And so somebody needed a crown, but they didn't have money. And I told the office manager, it's okay, let's just do it. Why? Because I saw the earning potential for myself. It didn't really make sense in a business sense. I was just like, let's just get the work done. Because in my mind, let's say I'm making $300 on that. But in her mind, the office manager, she's like, but we're not going to make any money. Like, we're not, this patient doesn't have any ability to. And I think a lot of people think that, like, I just want to do as much as I can because I'm paid 30% on production or 28 or 32, whatever it is. Okay. Does that help to answer your question there, Alex?
Yeah. My thought kind of was also the scheduling, like in terms of I want to know what you teach, because part of the production is not just what's billed, but actually having it on your schedule, which is a problem I was having. Ergo, my last story.
Same for me.
So do you
In the past.
teach any sort of patient retention or anything like that, those sorts of systems? So to actually produce, those patients need to be on your schedule, right? Not just treatment plan, but also followed up on. So do you teach patient retention systems? So like who should be calling, all that sort of stuff. Because that's an issue I was having is, hey, you see them for an exam, let's make sure they get their next, appointment, or if they cancel, things stay on top of that.
Yeah. So that is definitely something that my office manager harps on. That's why I had her spread her magic out there so that people who are in charge of those systems, meaning not the dentist, not the doer of the work, but the people who are putting it in front of him or her. Uh, that's but the main way that we dentists are going to influence them getting onto our schedule is one word. One
Trust.
word, and it starts with a V. What do you think it is? What do we
Value?
need to do when we are talking? Yes. Say it again.
Yeah. Value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When dentists do not trust in the value of what they're providing,
Oh, that is
then
such a good
why
line. Yeah,
then
keep
why
going,
would the
sorry. Yeah.
person it's okay. I don't even know what I said. You loved
Yeah,
it,
I'm
but I'm
sorry to
just like,
cut
what
you
did I
off.
say
Yeah,
again?
it's
It's
so good about
I think
value.
what we've seen is that some dentists are nervous about what they're doing. So like, oh, I have to tell them that I recommend a crown, as in I
Mhm.
think this is a service for you that could really benefit you, that I hope you find value in, because it costs $1,600, $2,000, and we're scared of that when, like you said, we actually want get to the point where they're buying from us and we're not selling to them. So just, you were
Yeah.
talking about value.
Imagine you sell, let's say, a really nice shirt. Like let's call it an outfit that this person is going to feel like so confident in, and they're just going to absolutely love it. Every time they put it on, they're going to feel so good, and they're going to act their best selves, and they're going to be more confident, flirty, just all the good things, right? Now, you selling that outfit did that person a great service because you're helping them be their best self. Okay, this crown that is going to fix this broken tooth, and they might not feel like it's broken, but we can see that it's broken. This crown is going to allow them to have years, decades of loving food, of
Mhm.
speaking clearly, of having good cosmetics, of, of whatever. Like all of these things are great things. It's amazing. I look at my home, I look at my family, my offices, and I think, wow, teeth paid for all of this. Isn't that
Mhm.
funny? Teeth.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
and I was gonna say, sorry, I think I'm like lagged behind you guys or something because I keep like dropping
Oh,
in
yeah.
when you guys are talking. So I'm sorry. Um,
It's okay. I
I
just
was
thought
gonna
you were
say
really quiet in the duo.
no. It's normally the other way around. I feel like where I'm the chatty one. So I was. You guys mentioned that you two didn't struggle. So my first like 3 years out of school, I really struggled finding that value in it for patients. I always felt like the age old dilemma. Well, why don't we do an MODBL resin instead of a crown? And I'd be like, well, you're right. You're poor. Maybe we should just do the MODBL resin, and then in a year we'll do the crown. And I just had a hard time finding the value. Now 5 years out, I can see it. I can see that value just like you described. But what would you say to first year Tony, or some of your clients that you work with about when they're having some of those internal struggles with, I guess, finding the value?
Oh, I felt the same way.
Well, that
I
makes
felt
me
the
feel
same way
good.
as you.
Yeah.
I would do massive quadrants of huge Medicaid fillings.
Yep. Same.
Massive. And I should have just told them this tooth needs a crown or nothing.
Yep.
But instead, I put on this composite that is going to last them maybe a couple years. What
Yep.
was I doing?
Yep.
Well, I didn't feel like it was worth the money that they would have had to invest in it. I'm just like, hey,
Mhm.
this is going to be free for them. That's great. Let's just do that instead.
Yep.
So fast forward to where a mentor actually told me, no, this is a disservice. We have to mention the crown. We have to give them the choice, not between crown or filling, but between crown or nothing.
Mm.
You're still
Okay.
giving a choice.
Yeah.
You're still given a choice, and they will say yes or no, and that's okay. If they say
Mhm.
no, no big deal. At least you told them what they need.
Yep.
Every time you've taken your car to the tire shop, have you done exactly as they instructed and said, get 4 tires today?
No.
No, sometimes you're just like, "I'm not ready for it." It's okay. They're not gonna go feel bad about it, but
Mhm.
at least they knew they told you, "Hey, we told Tony exactly what he needed, and we gave him the opportunity to say yes or no."
I like that.
So, once that hit about a year and a half in, it took me about a year and a half,
Okay.
I thought, "Oh, wow. I just need to stick with my guns. I need to label out
Yeah.
exactly what is entailed for what needs a crown. And then I'm not going to stoop below that. I'm not going to say it needs a crown or it needs a filling if you don't want a crown. No, I don't do that anymore.
Mm. Yeah.
And Tony, Isn't it so much easier to present a crown to people when you can actually afford one yourself?
Oh my
Well,
gosh. I was gonna say that's probably part of it. And
yep.
yeah, I guess I never had thought about it that way, actually. But yeah, now that yeah, it sounds bad, but $1,000
When
wouldn't
you're a
mean a whole
student
lot.
and when you're a new dentist, you just don't feel confident because you're just like, dang, this is expensive for me.
Hmm.
But once it doesn't become expensive to you, you think it just is what it is.
Yeah, it's a
And don't
fact.
forget, don't forget, this costs the same thing down the road. They can go have
Mm,
consultation after consultation, and they're going to get similar quotes everywhere.
yeah.
So the market is the market. And
Yeah.
so if
Except
you
for
just present
crowns
things in that
only.
way, yeah, yeah.
And I was
Oh, you
gonna
saw that one, huh?
What?
go ahead, Alex.
Crowns only? Is that what you
Yeah, that
said?
that is such a crazy concept to me. I don't know how that business model, I mean, again,
Oh,
aesthetics, completely different story. But if there's actual decay, like when something could just be a filling or something, you just get a crown immediately. I don't know. That's just like insanity to me. I don't know what,
Would
you're
you get
talking
a
how,
about the
filling?
business models where they say, you're talking about the business models where a dentist has an office where they say, just come get a crown. That's all we do. It costs you $690. Is that what you're saying?
they have offices and all they do are crowns for like $500,
Yep.
$600.
Yeah, of course that works because there's a market for that. Just like Walmart works because there's a market for that. But does
Hmm.
that mean that you're going to Walmart all the time? No, you'd rather go to Target. You'd rather go to the local place that has the organic stuff. There's always going to be people who are buying Walmart stuff. As my coach always says, Kias and oh, Rolls Royce. He's like, there's always going to be a market for Rolls Royce and there's always going to be a market for Kias.
Hmm.
So it just is what it is. And if people want to go over there, you say, hey, have fun. I'll be here when you need me.
Yeah, I'll
Who's your
clean it up
coach?
after.
Alastair McDonald.
How long have you had one for? I find that a lot of the issues that we've been talking about, um, on all sorts of dental success ownership is a lot of it due to ego, like the fact that we have DR before our names. We think we're the box, and it's a lot more doctor centric than patient centric. I've met a lot of people like, oh, I don't need a coach, but even the best players or whatever have coaches. So I was just curious how long you've been coach, what kind of value you see in it, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I've been coached for the majority of my career. Um, I was coached by Mark Costas, by
Mm,
Justin Short, and now
mhm,
by my current coach for the past 3.5 years. So it just depends on what season you're in of your
mhm,
career. Um, Mark Costas is not going to be the type of coach that seasoned dentists who are satisfied with their business, you know, um, or it's just we have to find somebody who caters to the point of where we are and where we want to be,
mhm,
the gap and the gain, right?
mhm,
So, um, I fully endorse all of those coaches that I just mentioned. I think they're amazing, and um, coaching is so vital. It's so crucial because how are we ever going to know what's possible if we don't if we don't learn from people who have achieved more than us? And we should not get disheartened by people who have achieved more than us. We just need to be inspired by that, right? And that's why we always say, like, find a mentor. And and I think mentor is kind of thrown out a little too much, and people are taking advantage of people's time.
mhm,
Like the questions that I get sometimes from people, just over and over, more and more questions. I think, wow, this person's not really valuing my time.
mhm,
They're just assuming that I have all of this free resource to give. So having a paid coach is really, really great. Just like having a good attorney and a good accountant. Those are going to be your best advocates because you're paying them top dollar to give you the great service that you need. That's what a
mhm,
coach is too.
mhm.
What are you getting coached in right now? Like, what do you feel like are your weak points, and what are you most excited to grow in?
I've grown a lot in my leadership, uh, mainly the way that I lead my teams. So that's what I'm coached in, is just being more authentic, being more personable, um, in touch and in tune. Um, I feel like I have the best associates ever, and and I truly think that they believe that they've got the best owner dentist possible, and I attribute a lot of that to the development that I've had with my coach. Um, that relationship right there is so crucial for us to maintain goodness within our practices. And like I said, I mean, they're working 4 days a week, having babies and taking vacations and getting surgeries and still making incredible money. I mean,
Yeah.
one associate makes over 600K a year. And, um, and I don't bother him on the nights or weekends. I don't give him any managerial duties. I'm just like, bro, I got everything handled, no problem.
Keep cooking.
So yeah,
Is that all
I
bread and butter
love
too?
no, no. So um everything but dentures and traditional braces. And he doesn't do full arch all on fours, all on
Okay.
X.
Okay.
I did get trained in that. I've done probably 15 arches in my career, so it's not a huge part of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you have to learn how to extract. You have to learn how to root canal.
Me too.
And you have to learn the basics of clear liner ortho. Like if you don't
Mm-hmm.
do those three things, what are you doing? You want to make more money, but you won't learn those things of when people are in pain. Let's go. Let's
Best
improve on that.
motivator. Yeah.
Put your phone down, turn off Instagram, delete it off your phone, and turn on YouTube extraction and root canal courses until you feel competent, and then re-download Instagram. You know,
YouTube
it's
School of Dentistry.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the resources are so available, and I get the questions all the time. What are the big investments I need to make to get better at these things? And I say, you don't need to invest big. There are online courses.
Gosh.
There are so many videos. Like it's right in front of your nose. But the problem is that you're on Instagram and Netflix. Just
Yep.
just dedicate some time. It's the new year. It's the new year.
Yeah.
Just tell yourself how much time per week you're going to put into it, and you will learn it.
And doing it
I
that repetitive nature. Yeah. And I was gonna say, I always see like a ton of the Instagram gurus with yeah, go do some $30,000 course. And it's like, well, yeah, that's great if you can, but I think a lot of times you're right. It's you should do a little bit of YouTube action, go revisit YouTube again, and then maybe try an easy one, and then kind of keep advancing your skills along that profile. It doesn't always have to
Absolutely.
be
I did 200
$20,000.
implants. I did 200 implants before I even took implant pathway.
Yep. Yeah. So you actually could go into it with an idea about what the heck was going on too,
Yeah,
which makes a
yeah, and
big
I just got
difference.
my
Yeah.
confidence from YouTube videos, from Facebook groups, and from asking a few people who would be willing to be a resource, and I guaranteed my work for those that failed. I'm like, "Oh, let's take this out, let's apply that to a bridge, or
Yep.
let's graft it and then try again later after I've done a few more of these." I don't know. It
Yep.
was just like it's not as hard as we put the pressure on ourselves to be.
No. And honest and empathetic, like you said, I think that drives that a long ways. That's how I've learned. I've probably done 150 now, and yeah, I've always just kind of been pretty straight shooter, and yeah, if it doesn't work, we'll do the bridge or whatnot on the house. So I
Oof.
really liked that.
And it was your case where they grabbed your wrist when you're placing that implant the other day.
It was my
Oh
first
my
failure.
gosh.
It came back. Yeah, he came back yesterday. It's a failure. So
Of course it failed. Do
yep.
not grab my hand while I'm placing a sterile titanium implant in your face, please.
Yeah,
My
and
goodness.
he was nice about it. He's an ex-military guy and he's got PTSD, so I don't know if he had a moment there. He said he had a moment, but
That makes
yeah.
sense. Now you
Yeah.
notice the date next time.
That do you do a lot of sedations?
Not a lot,
Or
but you've got to do sedation. You've got to do oral
okay,
sedation.
I haven't done any sedation, so maybe I think you're probably right.
Well, you can do something from the comfort of your own home. There's online things that you can sign up for. Pay $1,000 to $2,000 for the course or whatever it is.
Okay.
Whatever it is, it's worth it because then now you can offer some comfort
More
and
relaxed
sedation.
dentistry.
So it's going to be totally worth it.
I like that. I think someone had commented that on that post too. One of the
Mm.
few good comments was like, "Yeah, why don't you just sedate them?" And yeah, I have nitrous, but that was it at that point. So that was good feedback.
Well, I know that you're not going to appreciate this compliment from the start, but I'm glad that you had a failure
Yeah.
because we need to experience failures and get over them
Mhm.
and get past them, and you're going to need to figure out how to pull it out, uh, graft it
Yep.
with efficacy, and then redo it, and it's just going to make you that much better. Like the sooner we fail at certain things and learn how to overcome complications, that's where our true growth and further success will come from, not just by being perfect.
No, I appreciate you saying that. I feel the same way. Fortunately, I work with a doc that he's in his 80s. He's literally 80, and he's done 4 or 5 thousand implants. And he always tells me, he's like, yeah, they're not really even complications. They're just things you got to learn as obstacles that you got to work around. So, no, I agree. The patient was very open to that. We're going to extract it on actually tomorrow and graft it, and then go try again, hopefully in 4 months or so. That was the game plan, at least.
You bet. You bet.
Um, I had I just had one more thing. Earlier on, this was 20 or so minutes ago, but you guys got chatting, so I didn't want to drop in. You had said something about, and Alex was kind of hitting on it with the schedule. So, this was about a year ago. I was working at a DSO. They had me working 2 days a week, one place, 2 days a week, another place. One of the offices, I do ten to $14,000 a day of production. The other office, it's like a fist fight to do $3,000 a day of production. And clearly, Dr. Tony wasn't the thing changing between Tuesday and Thursday. And so it was all the systems and the poor staff and the bad office managers and all of these other things that were at the one office. And then when I go to the other office, it was like a total page change. And so, what advice would you give to the associates that are stuck in option A, where they're fist fighting to get to $2,000 a day? When they could, with the right systems, easily do 10 or 14 with the same amount of energy. I felt like the same degree of fatigue at the end of those days.
I can't really envision what's wrong in that office. Nothing is coming to mind of like, okay, are just not new patients coming in?
The big
Do
problem
you
with that,
not
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Um, and that's not your fault.
no,
So if you're an associate struggling to do 2,000 a day in production and you're not getting new patients and you're trying to learn how to produce a lot and talk to people, that's out of your control. And I know some people really want the answer, but sometimes you can control what you can control.
yeah,
And I feel, Tony, that if you are capable of doing 10 to 14K a day, then you are implementing what you needed to. Like, I'm not going to require you in that slow practice to go knock on doors and pass out flyers and say, "Hey, I'm the dentist in town." That's
mhm,
not your job. It's
no,
not what you signed up for, right? So, if an associate is listening and they're in that type of a situation, I mean, it's time to think of GTFO,
love that. I
right?
love that.
I
That's what
I
I had
I
to do.
don't th-
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think that it is an appropriate situation for them to be in, and they are somebody else's puppet, and that's not a good feeling. Like I
yep,
said before, I don't like feeling the feeling of getting sold. I don't like having the feeling of getting sold, and that's what they're having. Is
mhm,
they're just like, "Man, I got sold on this contract. This
yep,
sucks." And
yeah, you're getting
so,
used.
too many associates fear leaving a job because of how they're gonna get screwed at the end. Forget it. Consider that a business cost. Move
Mhm,
on. And I am not a proponent to everybody becoming owners. Not at all. There's a lot of good associateships, and if you just want to do dentistry and you don't want the headache and burden of being an owner, great. But I mean, thank goodness for people like you who are able to analyze associate situations and really help people to get set up for that. But you guys, as an owner, I could totally see how I could screw over a dentist in my system. I could totally see it. I could sign them to a long contract. I can tell them like what they're obligated to do. I could bail. I could go out of the country. I could just like, hey, if somebody quits, you guys deal with it. I could totally screw them over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just not right. That's just not right. So yeah,
And
I'll stick
I
with
want to
it.
end. Yeah, I'm going to end by saying, look for somebody like Dr. Greer. Everybody, my first owner was a lot like yourself. The office just cooked. I could massive production every day, patience. Um, the switch to the DSO was a surprise. I ended up having to leave. So if you can find an owner like him that has this drive, he's going to get you patients. He's got the systems. He's got the staff. And you just want to do that dentistry. That's a dream position. So kudos to your associates. Uh, I guess
Well, thanks,
if
man.
any of them leave, let
And
us
if you
know.
want to learn how to be Dr. Greer as much as you can, it's highleveldentists.com. High, like the word, like the altitude, level, dentists.com. And so you provide, you have your sprints, which are webinars, right? Recorded webinars.
Everything is via internet. Yeah. So nothing is traveled. The sprint is just 3 hours of me just spitting out as much goodness as I can to help people to get cranking. So, um, there's a Dr. James, he was producing 80K a month and he had no idea what his potential was. And he joined me for 3 hours, 3 hours, and he doubled his production the next month. And he's like, holy crap, I had no idea that this stuff was even available to me. And people who want to go next level after that, I have a 6 CE course just to stick with a theme. I call it my dash, and that's going to come up here in a couple months. I'm going to announce my dates. So on my website and on my Instagram, High Level Dental Producers, I'll always just keep people on tabs with that. If you want to just learn from me and not pay me anything, then you can follow me on Instagram. I'm always putting little tidbits out there. But honestly, if you're an associate and you're wanting to make more money, then there are easy resources, and I try to be the easiest resource. And I mean, if you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars more because you gave me $1,000 or $2,000, like this makes sense.
I was
And
going to ask,
yeah, go
so
ahead.
Dr. James was the one-on-one mentorship, because I want people to
No,
know, no.
no, he was a sprint. He joined me. He joined me in my sprint where I had 50 doctors just listen to me for 3 hours. That was it.
So for $700, he doubled his. I just
To
want people to hear
160.
that.
To
For
160.
seven. So what is that in terms of production? Maybe for the price of 2 crowns, you could, because I find a lot, because we're going through it too, this contract review where we just had a client, maybe I'll cut this out if Tony wants me to, but a potential $75,000 cost for like leaving a contract early, and our service is not even $100 to $300, right? And people see these numbers, they're like, oh, how could I give someone $1,000? And it's just crazy to hear that for, again, I'll say one more time, $700, you could double your production. And I can't even imagine what sort of value you're providing with your one-on-one mentorship. So I want everyone to go on the website or follow you at High Level Dental Producers on Instagram. And I feel like, I mean, we'll probably be talking in the future. I'm switching jobs, but online with you, because like I said at the very beginning, a lot of what I see in sales and dental sales seems fake. It seems performative. And everything I've seen from you just seems honest and realistic, which I think is great. You don't have to be this actor. You don't have to be a Hollywood star to know how to talk to patients. And I think
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, just learn how your personality can come out in a professional way. That's it. Keep your personality make it professional, and make it effective. And all of us are going to be speaking differently. But my first associate, who I told you makes almost $700K a year, he came to me and he's just like, I don't want to change a thing. I want to do exactly what you do and say what you say. And he just wanted to become what I was doing in the operatory. The way that I spoke, the way that I touched the shoulder, the way that I like pulled out a burr. And so therefore that was exactly what he needed, but with his personality, with his goodness, right? All of us have a goodness. Hopefully all of us do. And so just bring out your goodness to your patients and to your teams and just think, how are we going to give more services to more deserving people? Ask yourself that. How are we going to give more services to more deserving people? And if they're coming in for a crown, but they need 4, you can say, how am I going to give more services to this deserving person who's in here for 1? Right? You have so many opportunities in front of you already. If you're doing $6,000 a day and your schedule's full, I guarantee you can do that in $10,000 at least per day if your schedule's full. It's just look at the opportunities, speak to your patients to make it make sense. Make it make sense to do more now. Make it make sense to get healthier sooner. Make things easy. Take down that barrier to entry. Okay, that barrier to entry is always there, and we are feeding into it. We think, oh, insurance benefits. Oh, they don't want to be here for a long time. Oh, they don't want to be numb on both sides of the mouth. We're lifting all of these barriers. Whereas if we just say, you know what? Do you want to just get this all done? Do you want to just get it all done today? Do you not want to miss multiple days of work? Do you just want to like get healthy and then spread payments over a long time as if you had your work done over a long time? I've got companies that I work with, they can do that financing really easily. Don't be scared of that financing cost. Just look at that as a cost of doing business and go for it. Lower the barrier to entry. I appreciate you guys having me today. It was so fun. You guys
Yeah,
are
thanks
doing
for
a lot of
coming
good
on.
stuff for a lot of docs. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
As
appreciate
always,
your
there are a
time.
million things that I'm sure Tony and I wish we could talk to you about. We hope to have you on again if you had a good enough time with us, but we will let you have more fun with your wife and your kids now. So thank you. We'll plug all your information, and I seriously think this is such a wealth of knowledge.
All right. So once this becomes your most listened to podcast episode, let me know, and then that's when we'll schedule our next one. And I
All right.
guarantee you, once you title this something about like major production, it's gonna become your highest or listened to
Downloaded.
one. All right.
Will do.
All
All
right.
right. So where do I listen? Where do I listen to your podcast?
We're on Apple and Spotify and YouTube and Substack.
Right on. How many listeners are you getting per episode?
Hundreds
Or
of
downloads?
thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. Perfect. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
your first million.
Um,
Are we at 200 yet per episode?
Now, this will be our 5th or 6th podcast, probably. We're always working on how to catch people's, like how to provide value, and so we're trying to not just interview owners, but owners with a certain skill set. And so this is great. I mean, I've followed your content for so long. I'm so lucky I kind of just fell up on it by accident, and I've learned a lot from you, more than I could ever thank you for, honestly. I really, really, really value and look up to what you do.
Yeah, you bet. Well, good job to you guys.
All right,
Just keep
fellas.
on keeping on. I mean, slow and steady wins the race. All right.
Always.
Don't try to rush into anything major. And you've got long careers ahead of you. And if you don't, then that's a problem. So we'll we'll get to where you guys want to be. Just be patient in the process and stay humble and stay hungry, and you'll get there.
Cheers.
God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm still trying to get there too. All right. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Talk later.
Bye bye.